Scissors. No, you took my both scissors. That. I have one too.
No, I have some resident.
Good folders over there.
All in the rail.
Close.
I didn't know I get a fold.
Specialized on the front rows. The audio should be on. I'm gonna
Yes.
run a test and it should be ready to go.
Okay.
Testing, testing. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, it's 6:30. Let's call the meeting of the City of Tonawanda Council to order. Please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Here.
Fisher,
Here.
Boysonet,
Here.
Cook.
Here. All right, let's go through the agenda. On the minutes. Anybody would like them?
Thank you.
Any questions? On the bills. Did we see the bills?
They're out. They're out through these. Yeah,
There's your Friday.
Thursday or Friday, whatever. It's like Friday.
Oh, yeah, Friday.
Friday.
Okay. Any questions on them?
No.
Would anybody like them?
I guess I'll take that too. Somebody else?
All right, Commissioner of Deeds.
Chris?
Mhm. Any questions on it? All right, next resolution. Resolve the position of treasurer is considered exempt. Would anybody like to sponsor this?
I have a question.
Yes.
For the mayor, is this 6 years starting from the date of this council meeting, or is this 6 years starting from the date of his appointment,
6 years from the date of.
which was a year or two ago? What about residency tied with that? I don't believe, is the
The
city
mayor
treasurer?
can waive residency.
Well, the charter speaks to that. And I believe you have to be a resident. I'm not sure if you have, well, normally in the past, you had to be a resident. I don't know what, it doesn't say anything about residency in the charter.
Mayor, do we know if the city treasurer is a resident or intends to be a resident, or if you're waiving his residency?
I'm not waiving,
Not waiving it.
no.
So there will be.
So he's gonna have a term to be able to move into the city.
City treasurer, am I saying anything off base? Are you aware of what's going on? Is your intent to become a resident?
Yeah.
All my questions.
Purpose of that resolution is I had a meeting with civil service. And I don't know who, I was prior to me being around, obviously. There was a communication to the state saying this is supposed to be competitive and the charter is not provided. So State Civil Service Commission came back and said, you've got to change your charter. And I said, historically, positions of attorney, treasurer, those are professional services which have always been exempt in the past. So they should continue to be exempt.
I'll sponsor it.
So when you say exempt, you're talking he doesn't need to take a test,
Right.
but he did take a test.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I didn't, if those are prior to my, they're not communications coming from, that's all before me.
So you're saying at the end of this, at the end of these 6
You did
years,
not have to take a test.
So at the end of these 6 years, he has to be reappointed, or we could reappoint someone. It's basically an at will then when it goes exempt. Okay, thank you.
I'll sponsor that. Any other questions? Okay. Special event application?
Travel, television, I didn't think they would come south of that.
That's the police memo here?
Yeah.
I believe it's been resolved. I actually had a conversation with the mayor because that was my concern. He said it's been resolved.
They are not coming over the Delaware Street Bridge.
They're coming over to Main Street, right?
Right.
I did have a conversation with Sue Greg today. She had told me about, one was the amount of people. And I said, you can't, he's got to give you that ballpark figure because weather determines everything. So he was concerned about the amount of people. I said for Premier Sunday, I had around 1,000 people there, and it's accommodated to the east. So I tried to alleviate some of her.
Mayor, we would need a special permit with the state if it's over a certain number of people anticipated, right? You understand?
That would be through, emergency management and the fire department.
And it's what, like 5,000, 10,000? No, okay. Okay.
That area is relatively large.
Yeah.
You're not gonna fit that many people under the pavilion, obviously, but it goes around and around. Kind of accommodate that, depending on how they set up.
Council, do you have any questions on it?
They used to end at the farmer's market and they had to buy special tents so that they didn't damage the parking lot. So their thought was with the Canal Side Pavilion that it would be a great spot, bring people into the city. And so that's how it kind of morphed from NT, but they never had any issues with permits. They said police presence has been very minor, if at all, but they haven't had any issues in all the years they've been running it. So thought it was a nice event to bring to the city.
We do have Joe Marenka here who requested the special event permit. If we would like, we can bring him forward.
I would like
To
to
answer-
push the council hall. Where are they gonna have it?
So, Mr. Marenka, you can come on forward. Yep, I just want to make sure that we get your comments on the record, so.
Right here.
Yeah, my name is Joe Marenka.
Yeah, because it's just really.
Yeah, just don't lean back.
Yeah.
There's a microphone right here.
Can you hear me? Pick this. My name is Joe Marenka. I'm chairman of North Tonawanda Neighborhood Watch. I'm also second vice president, Chamber of Commerce of Tonawandas. We've been doing this event for 6 years. Well, this will be our 6th year. We started in 2020. COVID, unfortunately, we had to cancel for the first year. But if you're concerned about the number of people, I can gauge maybe 1,000 to 3,000 people. Obviously, it's weather dependent, and then it's going to probably be on me and our staff or our volunteers to get the word out to let people know it's moved. So it's a decent sized event. It's not overly huge. And if you guys have any other questions, I just,
Where was it at before?
we have it at the farmer's market for the last 3 years in the North Tonawanda. And the reason we moved it, for a couple of reasons, we want to move it, I should say, is we want to tie it into the 250th American birthday. We're trying to expand our footprint, maybe move it south a little more. And the market, I love the market. It's great. It's in the neighborhood. There's, pretty good amount of space, but it's not conducive for this type of event, really. The amount of capital I have to raise to keep the event free, which I want to stress, it's a free event for everybody. It gets greater and greater every year. And like I said, our goal is to keep it free. So the hub, or I don't know what you guys do, is it the hub, Canal Street?
Whatever.
Complex is exactly what this event would it's set up perfectly. You guys, it's very conducive to this. You have the stage there, and you guys do a lot of events there during the summer months for Canal during the concert series. I did talk to John White about this in the fall last year, and obviously we waited till who was going to be elected and this, and we talked and they thought it would be a great opportunity to bring something like this to the city of Tonawanda.
On your application request, Mr. Sheets' point, you mentioned food and beverage vendors.
So we really rely on nonprofits organizations to do that. So we already had the VVA Chapter 77 wants to do American food. The Lions Club, Erie County Gateway Lions Club, we do the Polish platter. We do a Polish platter. And then we also, of course, Sweeney Hose has been with us from the beginning, and they've been doing the beer. They started actually. We did it. The first one, first after party was at the little park on Oliver Street there, Heritage Park, and they've been with us ever since. And you know they take care of the beer sales. The only other food I do bring in sometimes is we get sponsorships like through Coffee and Stone, and they might set up a little sweets area. I have talked to them already. They haven't given me a word yet if they want to return. We also have Tipsy Whips. They do like a frozen, very low alcohol, like put in shots, whatever you call them. They sell those, but you know that's if they can't come, it's not a big deal. You know, it's whatever you guys decide. So, but the main goal is we try to drag in a lot of nonprofits. Last year, our charity was the Veterans One Stop Center. We let them run a 50-50 and do other things during the event. We also do a pre-Dingus Day party. We usually do that at Fatty Beer Company at Saturday night before the event. So it's been a great event. People loved it, and like I said, knock on wood, we really had no incidents in 5 years. People like it because it's more of a you think of Dingus Day in Buffalo. It's actually we really try to make this like a family event more than say like the celebrations for say like St. Patrick's Day or the other Dingus Day in Buffalo. And because of that, we have a lot of members that love coming to North Tonawanda to be in our parade that aren't in the other parade because they love the family atmosphere. They love the the more friendly and more less crazy event, I should say. So.
Joe, do they Sweeney Hose fence off the beer or not? I don't know. There's something, no.
We don't fence it off when we do green beer.
Okay, do we need a permit for that?
Yes, well, Sweeney Hose would take care of their own,
Yeah.
off premises.
But do they need a permit?
But they have no, what they'll do is they'll get a permit and they'll provide the SLA with the map area.
Right.
And they did tell they're about to fulfill, they just had their meeting, they're gonna be, I guess, submitting that permit any day.
And I have attended the event and it's everything he says.
So this SLA that you're talking about, that Sweeney Hose is gonna apply for, then they'll have their own insurance as part of the SLA?
What they'll do is they'll have to provide the city with a certificate of insurance and we're a named insured on the house.
And to get the SLA off premise for that location or for this permit?
That they have to show that the premises is insured, but the whole event has to have a certificate of insurance pending us as an official.
And I can get that as well, because I do that for North Tonawanda for at farmers market.
That'll be covered. That's covered through us. That's covered through Sweeney Hose. When they get their permit.
Okay. Joe, I have a question for you. This map here, you want your ending location to be 2 Young Street, which is the hub or the bathroom, whatever you want to call it. But the map shows it going out to Main and Broad and then turning.
Well, honestly, I was gonna leave it up to the departments of the city here, where they'd like it to end. Obviously, whatever works best for the city of Tonawanda is fine with us. I guess with the meeting we had, we thought maybe we can end it at Adam Street. And people could just use that, and then once they get to Adam and Seymour, they could either make the left or the right and disperse that way. We do need like a dispersion spot. We really don't want to just end it right at the Canal Street because it might get a bottleneck there. That's the only thing.
So we had the chief and the captain in on this, and there's cars with this parade too. So we didn't want to shut down Broad and Main Street to have them disperse there. So we're going to actually block Broad and Main, but east-west on Broad will still be able to travel. So what they'll do is when these cars come up to Adam Street, they can make the right. We're going to funnel them out to Seymour, and they can go right or left. And the cars and the people can just go left and go to the pavilion. The cars will go right, make the right onto Adam, and then they're out of the way, so we're not mixing people and cars.
Breakdown location then is on Adam, where the back of the laundromat parking lot is, which is a city lot.
Yeah, then they-
Backside of the Rite Aid.
Because he figured they might even just park in the parking lot so they can come join the festivities, or if they're done after the parade, they can just hit Seymour and go wherever they gotta go.
This way.
Mayor, you got
Like
that
I
way.
mentioned, yeah, they would, and then all the walkers would probably just go right in.
And to come right over and then walk right in.
Yeah,
Kind of like Green Beer Sunday, they have the parade, the world's smallest parade, and they go the opposite way, and then they go in. Right?
Yep.
It's a reverse of that. Okay.
yeah, because we're actually coming over the bridge. We're gonna, and I'll just mention this too. I wanted to get this taken care of. You know, the destination location settled before I put the permit or the the request for the events permit in North Tonawanda. I don't see them having an issue with this. I mean, like I said, we've done it for 6 years. And then, so I wanted to make sure we had a destination before I go changing the route and applying for it in North Tonawanda. But as it is now, we're gonna come down Oliver Street. The plan is come down Oliver Street, make a right on Tremont. And then we go up Left Street over the Renaissance Bridge, and then like wherever you guys want it to disperse, will be dispersed then after when it comes into the city.
Mayor, you gotta close Seymour and Niagara then,
Yes,
okay, and then same with Adam, right?
yes.
Similar to Canal,
But it won't be all that long.
right, exactly.
It ends and then we can,
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the key though. Even in North Tonawanda, they only have the street closed for the duration of the parade, which is about 45 minutes to say an hour at the most. And they close off just a few minutes before we kick off. NT, I'll say this, NT does a great job with this, the auxiliary and NT. They've been doing it for years. They've done other events and they block off the streets, are able to get us down and they open it up right after we're done. So, very minimal, problems. And not that it matters. You guys already spoke to the Webster Street Downtown Association and they have no issues with closing Webster Street for a good hour. In fact, they're pretty excited because they want to take part. They're gonna set up, they're gonna probably have stuff set up in front of their stores as we come by for pedestrians and everybody else to come down and hang out there. And you will get a pile probably, which is nice. You have the senior building right there, the senior apartments. You will get crowds right there because they love to see us pull in. So that was always where the biggest crowds were, like on Market Street. When we pull right into the parade, which you'll also get a lot of people probably coming in there early. Cause they want to set up, they want to get a parking spot. So, but the event itself is only literally like 3 hours. So 3-4 hours it starts a little bit earlier in Market Street there.
So how many floats did you have last year, ballpark?
About 50. We might have a little less, yeah, because the weather was crappy.
Yeah.
We had about 60, 65 sign up. And I think we ended up maybe 45 to 50 because of the weather.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, so like the parade would be like 3 to 4 sections of the streets closed.
Probably more like 4. Well, that's the other part too. By the time you get to the city of Tonawanda, it's about 15-20 minutes. So say like 5 to 5:45 or 5:15 to 6 o'clock or 5 to 6, you could say, for just the street closure.
Should you need it closed all the way abroad because they don't do businesses like that perfect.
yeah, for the little bit we have to, because
Yeah.
we gotta have some place for the cars to go.
They turned out,
That's where they're turning down, yeah.
yeah, so they'll be able to close it abroad.
Yeah, because if you don't, then they get in there and there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So you have to. Yeah, you got cars doing U-turns then with barricades up.
Well, that's why I said for purpose.
So you have to shut it at Broad and Main. Again, it's only gonna be for the duration of this parade, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I see people park before or after. You said the Lions Club Erie County, right?
Yeah.
And then the BVA chapter 77, where's that?
Yeah, not veterans,
Yeah, is that just, that's,
Main Street, Main and Adam.
oh, that's ours.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'd love to have others from the.
Well, yeah, so I was just making sure we had Tonawanda volunteer.
Absolutely.
Volunteer, not for profit, so, okay.
And we're a nonprofit too, by the way. We're a 501c3.
Yeah, I just didn't want to see all, just all. that
No,
shit,
in
not
fact,
for
we were,
profit. So,
And that's why we do that anyways. We don't have, I wish we had as many volunteers, but we'd love to be able to have, like I said, other organizations take.
Doing it by
be able to
voting
make
excess,
sense.
that's what's special
Okay.
events for.
All right, perfect.
That's what you're voting.
That's no problem.
We used to use Barafado Catering now a few years ago, but you know, we really switched over to letting nonprofits come in and do it. So,
My only concern would be the electric over there, depending on how many vendors you have, the electric inside the pavilion is off. And it throws breakers, and you're gonna have to use some of the signage boards that they use for Canal Fest. So until you get that electric upgraded, cannot plug very many things into that box. I can tell you the first-hand experience.
Well, strangely enough,
More than
that's,
one warmer in one of those things without tripping the.
we have the same issue with the market because the pavilion there, the electrical does not, can only handle one or two little things and we can let them know that if they want, they have to bring the generators
The
in.
way it is, so till we get it fixed. Well, they'll have to work, there are various spots along there for Canal Fest that you can use.
Okay.
That are accessible.
What are the, my only thought is that we'll have to amend this resolution to include closing the streets during the parade. Which we've done in the past.
Normally that's in the resolution,
It's not in this one,
you shouldn't say you'll have to close
right?
the streets for between the time and what streets you're closed.
So,
I
what
have
was
another-
the time again?
Well, the parade kicks off at 5 and usually it takes like 45 minutes to run the whole parade.
Probably half
So you'll have to, a half hour before, but you'll have to,
5 to say
You
6.
gotta give the police time to set up.
I would say 4:30,
It starts up on,
6 to 5.
And that kicks off like down the road and, you know, obviously, we're gonna shoot for Oliver Street and Thompson. To do our lineup. It's little less than a mile than for the duration. Cause I wasn't sure where we'd end up in the city of Tonawanda. I didn't wanna go over a mile.
We just have to add that to the resolution.
close the streets at 5.
Well, the parade starts at 5. I would say do it before,
Yeah,
30 minutes
Yeah.
before, 4:30.
we'll take that on the 12
No,
or 9. Or a place, that's all it is. What do you think, Mayor? You used to run this show.
It's a police department decision. I mean, you could put 2 to 8 and just let them shut down at their discretion that they need for the parade. What if it runs late? I mean, to put an exact time in seems a little overkill to me because what if something happens, a car breaks down and they're 30 minutes late?
Beforehand.
we could just write that for the resolve that following streets will be closed for the duration of this the parade.
The duration of the parade, you could just ballpark.
4 to 7.
I have a question for the rec department. Dave, did you sign this? Is this yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says, will bathroom be open? Will it?
I was asking.
I know, but do you know? Are they winterized?
Yeah, right now they are. They'll be open for Green Beer Sunday, so they'll be open.
Oh, they will be open?
They de-winterize for Green Beer Sunday in March and then we leave them open straight through
Yeah, there's no need to
Sure,
close them unless
Seymour.
they cost too much money to.
to re-winterize?
Seymour and Adam.
They'll be open
It should be open for Green Beer Sundays.
when, and that's what, first week of March?
They emerge.
First day.
Oh yeah, we need a special event for that.
I filed,
Oh, it's not on.
no, I filed it.
Okay. Okay. So the following streets, so Mr. Clerk, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just for your notes, and then I'm gonna go through the formality of amending it. Niagara and Seymour, Seymour and Adam, and Maine and Seymour will need to be closed.
It's Broad and Main.
Oh, Broadham,
Adam.
Broadham, Maine, sorry.
Or Niagara.
Broad and Main.
Broadham, Maine, Seymour and Adam, Niagara and Seymour.
I have Broad and Main, Seymour and Adam, and Niagara and Seymour. And then just one reminder, we're coming up on the hard start time for the formal.
I know, I'm watching. All right, I'm gonna make a motion to amend this resolution to include, the following streets will be closed for the duration of the parade. Niagara and Seymour, Seymour and Adam, Broad and Adam. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any other questions on this resolution? Do we have a sponsor?
Thank you.
Who's the sponsor?
Mr. Voisinay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks, Council. Thanks. Thanks.
Mayor, do you have exact
Yes,
purpose?
contract.
Okay. All right, we'll take a few minute break before we go into our
I
formal.
had some things that I wanted to discuss. Right, I had sent you some proposed ordinances. Put in effect for the vacant buildings and vacant land. I didn't had an opportunity to review those. I'd like to get them more informed from the city of Tonawanda. But I don't want to put all the work into it if you're not interested in doing that, but
I reviewed it. Is that similar to a vacant property registry?
Yep.
Yeah, I proposed that. We went down this road. I'm not sure if you're familiar. And Brittany repeatedly said it wasn't feasible for the city of Tonawanda.
certainly is feasible. You've got 3 vacant buildings right down here. We've got David Homes up here that's not building. The way I word them, if you read what it is, city, those I got are from the city of Amsterdam. But I'm gonna tighten them up a little bit, but it puts constraints on people not to leave their buildings vacant. In fact, the building inspector told me the other day that he's filed summonses against consumers. Because he happened to look behind the building, there's problems. And you've got to keep it keeps the buildings up to code. It keeps them with a plan. They've got to get a plan in place to fill these buildings. And if they don't, there's fines, there's charges every year. You really got to, and even with David Holmes, you got to start putting pressure on these people to build. You don't have a reverter clause in that deed. And that's sitting there empty, and he'll keep it empty. And he has no intention of doing anything with it. So unless you guys want him to sit on it and not do what it was intended to be done, which means he needs to start filing plans, putting together what homes he's building, putting together his site plans, or else he gets taxed at a much higher rate than he's getting taxed at now.
Well, let's talk about all that in our around the room. 'Cause we only have-
You write it, I'll sponsor it, because I've tried doing this 6 months ago and I got shot down. I copied Syracuse. You said city of Amsterdam. I looked at city of Syracuse and they have a vacant property registry and it progressively goes up higher, $100 to put your property on, 2nd year, 3rd year, 5th year. Because we have McDonald's, we have Rite Aid, we have Consumer. We can just go on and on and on with all the vacant properties we have here. And we should have a vacant property registry to keep that list.
That and also absentee landlords. So that was the other thing that I had discussed with the building department, was absentee landlords, so that they have somebody they can contact when there's an issue at the residence.
So the Airbnbs.
Right, Airbnbs, anybody that's out of the county that they need to get a hold of so that they can address the problem.
We can charge a fee to be on that registry.
No doubt.
Yep. I'm with you.
Okay, and I'll get it written up.
They're shut down.
You remember that?
So Mark, like David Holmes, they say they bought a pre-existing for these resolutions. Do we have a leg to stand on?
Sure we do. You put pressure on them and say, look, you've got to file plans every month of what you're doing, how you're maintaining that property, how you're cutting the lawn, not dumping stuff on it like he was doing. I mean, you just keep pestering him and to the point where he's either got to comply or he pays.
And
He's not going to want to pay it's going to be far more
they
than what
can't
he's
take us
paying
to
now.
court for that.
Your payment on vacant land is nothing.
Yeah.
Taxes. He's gonna pay more.
But they can't take us to court for that because it was pre-existing.
It'll be published like everything else. You'll have a public hearing. If he wants to come in and gripe, he can come in and gripe. I would hate to be him to come in here and gripe though.
Okay. All right, we got a minute, before 7. Is Pastor's here, right? Okay. All right. All right, so just sit back, relax till 7. You got 30 seconds, 1 PM. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Peasley,
Sure.
Fisher,
Here.
Voisin,
Here.
Cook.
Here, please stand for the pledge. Pledge of allegiance.
To the flag, United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. I'd like to call up Pastor Hagler.
Good evening, everyone. Please join with me as I pray. Almighty God, we pray for our government leaders to you. Grant them wisdom, integrity, and a heart for goodness and justice. Help them to govern with foresight, compassion, and humility, always seeking the common good. Protect them from the temptations and snares of fleeting power, selfish ambitions, and corruption, and guide them in making decisions that honor you. Strengthen them as they lead and serve this community, and we pray they will be guided by the Holy Spirit. May our prayers and presence support them in their roles and help them to bring hope and peace and opportunity in this community. And it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Communications from the mayor have been ordered and filed. Communications from city officials and correspondents have also been ordered and filed. Just for the record, Resolution 5 has been amended, and when we get to it, we'll read the amendment. The council will be going into executive session following the proceedings this evening. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public on the resolutions. For those that are joining us in person, please approach the microphone. For those that are joining us virtually, there's a spot for you to raise your hand. Please do so, and the clerk will call upon you. Mr. Clerk, any resident wishing to address the council on the resolutions?
No, Madam President.
All right, we will proceed.
Resolution number 1 by Council Member Sheasley.
Is there a second? Second by Mr. Fisher.
Resolved that the Common Council minutes from January 6, 2026 be accepted as filed.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Voisin,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 2 by Council Member Sheasley.
Is there a second? Second by Mr. Voisin.
Resolved that the bills be allowed as audited.
Comments or questions?
Point of order. I believe the council president is supposed to be voting first.
Yep, I was going to point that out.
Okay,
So-
thank you.
Mr. Clerk, please follow the rules of order in the voting.
Thanks for the reminder. Ready for the vote on the bills?
Yes.
Cook,
Aye.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Voisin.
Aye.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 3 by Councilmember Fisher.
I'll second.
Resolved that the following individuals be named Commissioner of Deeds for the city of Tonawanda, term to expire December 31st, 2027. Mayor William Strasburg and Martin Grunswig.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Cook,
Aye.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Voisinay.
Aye.
Declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 4 by Council President Cook.
Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Fisher.
Whereas section 3.058 of the city charter provides for the appointment of the position of treasurer by the mayor and confirmed by the common council for a definite term of 6 years, therefore be it resolved that the position of treasurer is considered an exempt civil service position, and a copy of this resolution upon its passage shall be provided to the local civil service commission.
Comments or questions?
Comment.
Mr. Fisher.
Been on the council for 2 years. It took 2 years to sort this out. We have our city attorney here. This was sorted out in the first month. I appreciate your efforts. Thank you. Adam, I asked about the 6-year term. I hope you stick around for another 40. If you're a tier 6, you will be around for another 40. But hopefully this is sorting some things out for you. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Cook,
Aye.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Voisinay.
Aye.
Declare the resolution adopted.
Would you like to point out the amendment first, Madam President?
Yeah, just as a formality, we amended this resolution. I'll have the clerk read it. It was sponsored by myself, seconded by Mr. Sheasley, and all those were in favor of the amendment. So, Mr. Clerk, read the resolution as it was amended.
And just to be clear, the amendment for the resolved closed streets will be between the whereas and the resolved, or after the first resolved?
After the first resolved.
Thank you. Sponsored by Councilmember Voisinay.
I'll second.
Whereas a special events application was received by the city clerk from the North Tonawanda Neighborhood Watch, and whereas the application was reviewed and commented on by all appropriate department heads to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents, and whereas all details for the above named event must be coordinated with Captain Kiersitz, the Parks Department, and the event chairperson, now therefore be it resolved that permission is granted to North Tonawanda Neighborhood Watch to hold the 6th annual NT Neighborhood Watch Dingus Day Parade and post-parade party at Canal Street Plaza on Monday, April 6, 2026, from 3 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And be it further resolved that for the duration of the parade, the streets Broad at Main, Niagara at Seymour, Seymour at Adam be closed. And further resolved that a certificate of insurance naming the city of Tonawanda as additional insured be filed with the city clerk no later than March 20th, 26.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Cook,
Aye.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Voisinay.
Aye.
Declare the resolution adopted. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public following the resolutions. For those that are joining us in person, please approach the microphone. For those that are joining us virtually, there's a spot for you to raise your hand. Please do so. None. Mr. Mayor.
Just a couple real quick things. The last couple of weeks, the administrative assistant and I have had some really productive meetings. We've met with Dave Sutton, who's doing the Riverview School apartment project. We got a tour of that and how far it's come along, which is looking really good. We also met with the owner of Prescott's. We have a couple issues that we're gonna hopefully solve there that's been lingering for about 1.5 years. We had a good meeting with Papa Grande's, the owner. They have some things they want to do. We'll be bringing up later. We met with the realtors from Spalding Fiber. That half that's not developed, we have some really good prospects in the pipeline. That's looking good. And then today we met with Rotolo, the grant writer, and we made some real progress with them with the help of the city attorney. There's a lot of things on his plate that need to be taken care of. And we're making progress.
Great, thank you. This Thursday and Friday, the Twin Cities Task Force for the Homeless will be out in the community with supplies, completing outreach for people experiencing homelessness. They're also completing a HUD mandated point in time survey. This is critical for future HUD funding. I want to thank the outreach teams who will be out and about this week to do everything that we can to eradicate homelessness. I also want to thank everyone for coming together for Matthew 25. I know that those doors opened, so that's great to see the work being done there as well. And that's all I have. Mr. Sheasley.
Nothing. I think our public works, by the time we're done with the next few days of the storm, they're going to be a little tired. They've done very good in my street. I know that, and what I've seen in the village. I appreciate. That's all I have.
Mr. Fisher.
For the Chris Fisher Gives Back, it will be going to Tonawanda Methodist Church on Grove. I also like to, say thank you to the police, fire, and DPW for the weathering of the storm and for surviving the roads and being out there. Not easy, but someone's got to be out there in 10-degree weather. Looking back at what the mayor just said about all those things he just met with, Papa Grande's was a missed opportunity. And the fact that you got him back on the hook, hopefully we can get that into the city. What Papa Grande's wanted to do is he has a container truck that sells burritos, tacos, and margaritas. It's in South Buffalo, and he was looking for a place to land, and he was trying to land in the city of Tonawanda. The last administration couldn't get it together. He brought me in with him, myself, the mayor, Papa Grande's. We looked at it. I'm hoping the new administration will bring that opportunity back to the city of Tonawanda. So I'm glad you brought that up. And we talk about other opportunities too. Second council meeting of the month used to be the Veteran of the Month program. There is no Veteran of the Month today as a second council meeting of the month. But myself and Jim and the mayor, as the veterans and the mayor here, came together. And I don't know if Jim or Bill's going to announce it. I'm just going to touch a little bit on it. It's going to be the Veteran of the Quarter program, where the veteran or the family, if they're departed, they're going to get either a plaque or a framed certificate or something they can hang on their wall, not just the paper certificate. I know one of our local vendors I'm partnering with is Hello Sweets to get a gift card. I know you said one of the local restaurants is going to get a gift card. And the Veteran of the Quarter program will be where we present the veteran, or if the veteran's a part of the family, of a certificate they can hang on their wall, a certificate where they can go out to get a bite to eat, a certificate where they can go out to get a dessert after, all here in the city of Tonawanda. So do you want to add anything else to that?
You're covering it all.
Yeah. So we look forward to the Veteran of the Quarter program coming out, and that'll be the first quarter. That's going to be 4 times a year, of course, quarterly. So that's it. So we do have good progress on the horizon for everything. Thank you.
Mr. Roisenay.
A thank you to the clerk for getting us the directory draft. Thank you very much for passing that along. Also, second, to thank you to police, fire, and DPW for weathering the storm. Just more to come, but thanks for getting kicked off start here. I had a resident concern about the signs knocked down at Spalding, so we resolved that immediately, got those signs put back up. Also took the opportunity to meet them with the mayor, and very good prospects, so everyone thinks along there. And one last thing, we may want to talk about or reconsider the meeting time, 6 to 6:30. I don't know, first day almost ran over. We can talk about that.
Continues afterwards, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it goes right on the round the room part goes afterwards.
Some meeting.
All right, we'll keep tabs on.
All right, thank you, Mr. Roisenay. All right, now at this time, the Common Council will be going back into our informal session. So we'll go around the room. Mr. Beasley.
If nothing else.
Mr. Fisher?
I got a question for fire. One of the things I read in the newspaper was that the North Tonawanda planned on moving staffing or closing 2 of their fire halls. Are you familiar with that plan? Is that something, are they cutting staffing?
They're not cutting staff.
So they're just realigning staffing?
They're realizing staff. We've done similar. So what they did is in North Tonawanda, they had 3 or 4 locations where it's just one for kind of people have someone by themselves for 24-hour shift. So instead of having, I don't know the specifics, instead of having, say, 5 stations, 4 of them are manned by 1 person, they're combining. So they'll have 2 stations, 2 people in each.
Are they a combination department like ours?
Yes.
So it's similar to us with the truck and the driver, but we have the 2 over on Wheeler and the rest on Williams. So it's completely apples to oranges then. North Tonawanda to our setup.
Yeah, it's a similar setup. They're just bigger, obviously.
But with the different fire, like their consolidation, we're already past that. We're down to 2.
Yeah.
2 locations. Okay. All right. Thank you. That's all I have.
Mr. Boisone?
No, I think we covered everything in the formal, I think the mayor got supports the second, so. That's moving on forward on your list of tasks to do, but I think that's about it. We did have a resident concern about ice. I don't think there's anything we have any jurisdiction over, but it's just to inform the mayor about that as well. The Buffalo did something about having that executive order. Again, I think that it falls in their city, but wanted to acknowledge.
Mayor, anything for around the room?
Yeah, so did you get the email I forwarded you about the Lafayette sign, that organization, they want to pay for that sign? Any issues with anybody? That's 1 sign, they're paying for everything. I thought it looked good, but before we sent them a letter saying we accept the sign, I wanted to make sure everybody was okay with that. So we're talking with Nate Taylor from the rec department. He's got a couple of issues. The first one that I'm proposing we do, his executive assistant secretary used to, or was scheduling the senior van. That was determined to be outside the scope of that position's duties, and he had to take it over. It takes him about a day and a half, he said, to do the scheduling. We reached out, and the county will do the scheduling for us. Nate will still get an updated list and he can edit it and make changes. They will actually send letters out to everybody who's on the registry for that, telling him. So in essence, all that's changing is the phone number. And instead of having to track Nate down wherever he may be to do this, they'll do it as a free service. So to me, it's a complete win, and it gives him, with all the added duties he's had, a little bit of free time. So I just wanted to make sure there was no issues with anyone going to that, and that you would know in case a constituent called you and said, why am I calling Erie County now? Everything else is the same.
Okay, when does that take effect?
Well, we'll have to reach out to them and
Okay.
set it up. I just didn't want to go forward until I knew you folks were okay with it.
It's a county van, right?
Yeah, they pay for the van, but then we pay for everything
Pay the
else.
maintenance.
Right, and the driver.
Yes, and the scheduling. And there was one concern that sometimes when they do that, if it's not booked, would the county try to then send it, say, to pick somebody up in the town and take them to Grand Island? And that won't be the case. It'll just be for our residents. He also then brought up NT raised their boat fees, docking fees, and I guess in the past, we've always kept it the same as what their side is, so it's obviously the same. I don't know what your appetite is for that. It was a $5 increase. I have a
You think if we don't increase it, why, if they pick up more business because we'll have lower rates?
I guess, but
City attorney?
I don't.
I don't know if it's a good idea to get into competition with your across the way, besides the fact that I think part of the DRI grant is to upgrade our boat docks. So I think that I want to stay on the same page.
Okay.
whatever we're doing.
I would think for the-
Together, I don't want to.
For the $5 that it wouldn't be worth starting.
They're gonna be under.
What if they cut theirs 10 then and we start bidding against each other?
Well, and besides that, it's controlled by Gateway more or less, so you want to keep in line with the contract. Each other, with the Gateway contract and supervision of the parks. So you want to stay on the same page.
We need a resolution change.
Yep, it's an ordinance change.
With
Can you
that-
forward the email?
Yeah, I just didn't want it to go forward in case you said there was no appetite for that at all.
It makes sense. The only thing in there, like I said, is they can give out parking tickets, or you want to give out parking tickets on the water.
The NT's giving out parking tickets on the water?
Something I would say question.
NT was looking to ticket boats.
I want to say that. Draft. But that's a question. I don't think we have the authority to do that.
No, I would say no.
Check your emails.
They also, Nate drew up this, he did a little research on our fees for Kohler Pool and season passes. He recommended that we consider increasing the fees. This is what his recommendations were. It'll just give you a chance to look at it. It's pretty minimal. The rec pass was like $2 to $3 for the day. Swim lessons increased a bit, $5 for the year. On the second page, it gives you just what NT has, the aquatic center. And then the third page would tell you what the difference is with his increases. If we had the same attendance as last year, you'd bring in a little over $8,000 extra. Which we felt, I know the cost of the pool is quite expensive, that might be something you want to look at, but I didn't know what your appetite was for that, so I brought it to give you a chance to look at it and get back to me on what your thoughts are. And I believe, nope, we do have, Katie, can you come up? There's a couple of exemptions that have changed that the city can opt into if they so choose. And I'd rather have her explain it to you and let you know what that process is and what they're all about. Thank you.
So two newer exemptions. The first one is a veterans exemption that currently was passed at the state level. So now the city has the option to opt into that. However, I do know there was an amendment proposed that it could potentially be mandatory for us. So we can opt in now, or we can wait to see if it becomes mandatory. And then I think it might be easier for us to do that because it would be passed by the state and we would
So
just.
opt in before it becomes mandatory.
If we wait till it becomes mandatory, then I think we don't have to do anything.
Right.
Before, we have to do the public hearing, I
Public
believe.
hearing, yeah.
Publish and all that, so
That exemption's for 100% to say.
that is for 100%. There are very strict
There's
guidelines.
ands in there, right? It's 100% and.
Yes.
It's not an or, it's an and total
Yeah.
disability or total unemployability, right?
And there's certain, for total disability, there's certain qualifications that, like, it's not
And just 100% on himself doesn't get exempted, right?
correct.
It's at 100% and,
And,
yeah. Like my neighbor's 100%, he's working, so he's like, this ain't gonna get into anything for me.
yeah, it's total disability, individual unemployability.
Yeah, TDIU.
Unemployed.
Yeah.
Right, you gotta be 100% in TDIU, because you could be a 70 TDIU and you wouldn't be exempt, but then if you're 100 and not TDIU, you wouldn't be exempt either. So it's very narrow.
And they also have
I
to,
can't hit that many in the city.
Do we have a count on how many?
I wouldn't know that.
Because you won't know if they're TDIU, right? You won't know if they're unemployable.
Yeah, I don't, sometimes I see that, but sometimes I don't. It depends what letter they bring in.
Right.
And we wouldn't track that now, so. They also have to qualify for the VA's specially adapted housing grant, which I don't even know what that is.
That's or and.
And,
So 100%, the total disability unemployment and
yep,
the VA housing.
yes. Yeah, so I have to make you aware of it. And then you can decide if you want to put it in now or wait to see if they pass the amendment.
Is the amendment in the budget, do you know? Is it in the state budget?
Um,
Then we don't have to wait.
The budget just came out today, so.
If it's in the state budget, then we don't have to wait very long to get that answer. If it's a standalone,
I would suggest that you wait until it becomes mandatory. That's my suggestion.
But how
Only
long could the
because-
wait be?
You're gonna incur, if you want it before that, you're gonna incur some expense.
to publish and have the ordinance changed, but not the actual expense of the veterans exemption, because
No,
that's
because
probably,
you take it, yeah.
that's gotta be, we only have, what, 1,200 veterans in the entire city, 1,200 veterans exemptions in the entire city. The odds that they meet all three of those criteria,
They're very narrow criteria, so it's gonna be tough to meet all that.
right?
Right.
We've had this talk amongst other veterans groups, and you basically can't work.
Yeah.
And you have to have the housing, I didn't know the housing stipulation was there, I knew the work stipulation was in there.
Right.
Yep.
There is
That's why
100%.
I'm suggesting you just wait till it becomes mandatory, because if you were affecting more people that benefit from this, that'd be one thing. You're not.
I think it's already
Your expense is gonna outweigh.
Right.
So just want to make you aware of that. And then the next one is the senior exemption. So our low income senior discount. Currently, the same thing, the state passed it at a state level of a higher income limit. Most other cities are waiting to see what the county does, which is typically what we've done in the past, to increase that limit. So, but again, I just have to make you aware that it's out there. And if you want to act on it before, we can, but same kind of thing. If it's, I know it's proposed to the county, but I think this is the second time it got shut down the last time, but it's up again. So just to make you aware of that. And I can email you guys all the details so you have them and then make a decision.
Perfect. Any
Is that part
questions?
of what we talked about before with the second notice?
Not directly related, but
Yeah.
yes, to make people aware that there is.
Some very cumbersome requirements that the state is putting on to notify people of the eligibility for senior status, senior exemption. And it's very difficult, Katie's perspective, to know who's a senior and to send the notice. Otherwise, we're forced to send blanket notices, 4,000, pieces of property. And very cumbersome and expensive. So, just so you know.
Yeah, and we do our best to notify. People call, every day. Had a handful of calls today that had questions on STAR, and we make them aware. I was at the senior center this morning, meeting with seniors, so they, we do our best to.
And to spread by word of mouth.
Yeah. And it is on all the tax bills too, so.
It is on your tax bill originally, but the state, in
Yeah,
their infinite wisdom, has decided maybe people need a reminder
again,
again at our expense.
right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Katie.
All right, anything else?
I gotta circle back to the mayor on this. Trying to do some math real quick. On the summer revenue, these daily passes says we're running $9,800. At $2 a pass, the daily increase would be $4,900 if we raise it to $3. So he sold 4,900 individual day passes to the Kohler pool. And just on rough numbers, if that pool's open 90 days straight, it's 54 passes a day, every day for 90 days to get to 4,000. That number seems extremely high. Because my first question was, what's the breakdown of how many of these daily passes are resident versus non-resident? Because one of the things I would look at is, instead of increasing it from $2 to $3, would be leave it at $2 for residents and raise it to like $5 for non-residents. But if we're at over 4,000, almost 5,000 people a year buying the individual day pass, and that doesn't even include how many people are already entering the pool on a family pass or a season pass. And I've been to that pool a few times. I think Jason jumped off the diving board at one point last year. And I don't think there was ever this kind of volume there.
Do you want me to have him come for the next meeting? And
Or just sends you an email. I mean, I don't want to drag the kid in here, but if you know, if he just can give you a breakdown of how the daily passes went, or what our highest daily day was, if they're residents or non-residents, because they do collect your information when you go in on a day pass. I just like to know some more data on how we sold almost 5,000 day passes in a 90-day period. Because that would really guide us towards what we should be increasing and what we shouldn't be increasing. Like swim lessons, you know, he's looking at NT's $75 for the swim lesson. You know, he's looking at raising ours from 20 for residents, 40 non-residents to 25.50. Again, I'm a big believer in always just raising the non-resident fees, not whacking the residents. You're whacking the non-residents. Aquatic Center does it to everybody. You're not a town resident. Aquatic Center, I believe they have a flat day pass for non-residents. It's like you can't just use the gym or the pool. Like you have to pay a certain amount to enter versus how they do that. They break out their rec pass, but to get that individually break out rec pass, you have to be a resident. So.
Yeah, I think they paid us $1.
For the Aquatic Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
It's high.
Yeah. So unless you're going to the gym, the pool, and making a whole, 8 to 10 hour day out of it, it's cheaper to go other places for other things. Yeah. But I think they do that to discourage non-residents from showing up. So that would be it on that one. Just more data before we look at the rate increase.
All right, anything else?
Yeah, the family pass seems to be high too. So.
The 65?
Yeah.
All right, anything else? All right, I'm gonna make a motion to go into executive session for contract negotiations. Is there a second? Mr. Fisher, please call the roll. Mr. Clerk, please call. Aye.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Boyce and A.
Aye.
I declare the resolution adopted. The council will be meeting in the caucus room for executive session, and we'll come back out after executive session. All right, Mr. Clerk, we're all here. I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second by Mr. Fisher. All those in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night.
Bye.